Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Automotif, the Collector Cars series. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean.
And today we're going to talk S60R Volvos.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey everyone, we're now inside from the outside where it's freezing here in Canada, and we're in an 07 S60R Volvo.
That's right, and limited production. This was built to compete with the S4 and the M3. I would say it gets about 9/10 there, but it's fun to drive. It's got a lot of cool features.
That's right, and why might this actually be a collectible? I know a lot of you are probably thinking that, but with limited production, Volvo built a lot of cars. What they didn't build a lot of is the R series, and that's what we're in today. That's actually making it also highly sought after, because people who love Volvos and that little niche market of people that like the R series because they are different than your average Volvo makes it highly sought after, and these cars are maintaining value. Therefore, we define this car as a modern collectible.
Absolutely, and don't forget that Volvo went racing with these things.
They did.
So, like, the racing pedigree is there, the history is there. You want to go for a drive?
Yeah,
Let's
but you're in
do
the
it.
driver's seat.
Let's do it.
Not to mention this is his car. So we're gonna have to have some fun in it.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
And we're off. S60R. Arr! That was too good. That was too good. Well, upon searching for one of these on the internet web,
Yes.
there was only one
I know, hey?
V60 or S60Rs of this generation. There's lots of the Type Rs or whatever Volvo now calls them in the new models, but
Yep.
for this generation, it's very limited, and to find one on the market is actually very hard, especially one that's in good condition.
Yeah, and you're speaking about the R design. So from
Yes.
04 to 07 in North America, Volvo produced the R, and they had the S60R, as we're in right now, and the V70R. Now, after 07, they went to this R design, which is kind of like Audi S line.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like M spec. So it really gives you kind of your sporty, niceties, but it's not like a pure sport model. It's not like an M3 or an S4.
It's kind of that happy medium, make an average consumer think
Exactly.
they're in a sports car.
Exactly.
Where it's got a bit of the sport design. If you notice, I use the word design. It doesn't come in the performance aspect. It's got a trim package, it's got some wheels, maybe
That's
some
right.
aero package, but when you get into the R, early R versions, you got bigger engines, you got turbochargers, you got all-wheel drive system, you got active suspension, you've got things that actually enhance the drivability of a car opposed to make it aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
I think I didn't say that word right, but
Aesthetically appealing.
appealing.
Don't worry, I
Or
can't talk
pleasing.
either. So the S60R, the R model, comes with 300 horsepower. It's a 2.5 liter turbo, high
That's right.
output, 300 pound-feet of torque.
Impressive.
Yeah, like it's not as fast as, let's say, an S4, which I would think probably is your direct competition. The M3 was front engine, rear wheel drive, inline six, non-transverse mounted.
Right.
Whereas this is transverse mounted, so it's front wheel drive based, using a Haldex all-wheel drive system.
Which is great for the winter,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
Direct competitor to Quattro, and some similarities in that aspect.
Yeah, so like the holodeck system, they use that in your Audi A3s, your S3s, your RS3s,
Yeah.
Different generations, mind you. This one right here, I have a tune for it. It doesn't have the tune on right now, but with the tune, you'd be looking at around 330 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. So it really does wake the car up. It's also 6-speed automatic. Sorry, purists. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't neuter the car, but it certainly does take away from the drivability or the fun factor, I would say.
Absolutely. But if anyone in the viewership right now knows someone with a manual one that would like to have their car on the show, just hit us up. It's automotifmedia@gmail.com, and we would be more than happy to bring that car out and get to kind of feel the difference, because I have yet to drive this. I'm going to hop in the driver's seat in a little bit, but automatic versus manual. Manual's always more fun in anyone's eyes, really, but you know, you can't knock it for that. You know, sometimes, like I said, it's hard to find these cars. So you, as an enthusiast of the R lines from Volvo, you saw a good deal, you capitalized it, you bought it. It was a good investment for sure, which is what makes it also a collectible car. And maybe if you see another one pop up, you're gonna definitely jump on it if you can do a little bit of swap-a-roo.
Absolutely, and I mean, like when I was looking for this car, and I wasn't actually looking for this car in particular. I came from an A4, an 07 A4 B7 generation, which is a lot of fun. Had some power to it, but I was having some reliability issues, and I was actually looking for the V70R. So I was looking for the wagon version of this car. I was looking for the manual, but there is more value in those in terms of collectability and in terms of exclusivity. So if you're looking for an R model, the V70R probably is the one to go for. It would probably be the one I would want to test. I would love to drive one.
Yeah.
Anybody knows for where we can find a V70R, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean is going to show us a little bit of an all-wheel drive snow launch.
Let's see what it does. Who knows? Ready?
Yep. That's how you know the rear is activated a little bit.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's all right.
That's 70-30. 30 was spinning pretty nicely.
Yep. All right, you ready?
Volvo.
Volvo.
I must say, this is my very first Volvo I have ever driven.
Yeah?
Ever.
Well, there you go. It's actually my first Volvo that I've ever driven too, so.
Driven or owned?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I noticed is, you know, I originally was in that seat.
Yep.
Is that seat has been less sat in than this seat.
Yeah, well, we're talking about maybe a little over 250 pounds of love here, so.
But it's still, that's super comfortable. This is almost even more comfortable. It has more mileage on this seat than that one, and this is a little more comfy. It's got that little cushy feeling where you lose, where that's kind of a little stiffer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are known to be comfortable too, which, you know, like I was saying before, they're just kind of soft and supple. The 04, 05 cars actually do have a little bit more bolstering, and the reason why they went to kind of the more flat bottom seat was because they were wearing out prematurely. So, but yeah, I love them. It is what it is. It's not going to really keep you in a corner. You got to brace your leg on the side there just to be able to, you know, when you throw it in. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. And I'm going to talk about this dash as I usually do in the reviews, and it's really clean. It's almost like a Rolex. It's got a watch style dash where there's four dials, all analog. The digital comes for the odometer and trip and gear selector. But it's like I'm looking at a bunch of different watches, and it's actually really aesthetically pleasing to me to be driving. Yeah, I know I'm focusing on the road, but when I look down, I enjoy it. I actually take gratification in seeing that type of dash, where usually it's just kind of blended into the back with some numbers that you get to see and know what's going on. But
yeah,
well done on this dash, Volvo. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean, with the R, you get the R gauges, special blue cluster.
Yes.
You get the silver ring around the gauges, and it just really sets it off. It's a nice piece. It's probably the nicest gauge cluster I've ever seen. And I mean, I like, you know, functional gauge clusters.
Absolutely.
I like analog gauge clusters. You know, it's a nice breakaway from the new digital dashes that you see, where, you know, everything changes. You know, in our look at me generation, it's just simple.
It is, and it's subtle because at the bottom of the cluster, on both sides, the RPMs and the speed out, it has a little R, which is a really nice subtle touch. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't scream at you, Volvo, or it's an R. It's subtle, very classy, 100%.
exactly. And with Volvo, they don't forget to let you know that this thing is an R. There are R badges all over this place, but they're really tiny. You know, they're not in your face. You really got to look, and it's like, if you know, you know.
You know, that's right. So to touch on what Sean has told us before, is there's 3 different modes in this. So right now we're cruising along the country road in comfort, because that's where you belong when you're doing this right now. But if the windy bends start to come at you, it's a click of a button to stiffen up that suspension, and you can feel it almost instantly. So I haven't done it yet. I'm going to go through all of it. We're currently in comfort. The moment I hit sport, you can almost then start to feel the nose a little bit more. You can almost feel as if it dove down. I don't think it actually drops.
Levels out.
Okay. And then we go into advanced, where actually it becomes even more. And if you saw that, we just went over some bumps, and you actually saw our bodies are moving with the chassis, where before the chassis and the road are so comforted in comfort mode, you don't notice these gradual bumps. But as we're driving down a very fresh paved road that doesn't have much bumps, we go over these tracks here, you feel it. You feel in the suspension. I like it. It's well done.
Everything's tightened up, and like it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You know, you want to float like a Cadillac, well, you can float like a Cadillac in comfort mode. You know, yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Fly like butterfly, sting like bee.
Yeah, sting like a bee. Yeah, and I mean, in sport and advanced mode, you get a little bit of that tightening. You get a little bit more throttle response. Yeah, it's just everything happens earlier, sooner, with a little bit more oomph. In advanced mode, it gives you a little bit more boost, especially with the tune. It's great, and I wish we could test out the tune. Maybe sometime this summer we'll be able to do that, but it just doesn't like this winter gas. It doesn't like it. So, but yeah, like when you hit advanced mode, I'm in and out. I play with it every day. I just go and like if I see a corner, advanced mode, here we go. Okay, we're done the corner, comfort mode. That's what I like. It's just fun. It's a little gimmicky, but it's not gimmicky because it works.
Right.
So Volvo's 4C suspension, great. I love it. They put it in a lot of different models. Not like this. They don't have 3 modes like this in some of the other models. They have comfort and sport. Like they have them in the XC90, the XC90 V8s. They have them in the later models, so the 08, where it's basically a T5 car, but it's kind of like an R.
Right.
That's where they actually dropped the R model. But they don't have the comfort, sport, advanced mode. And I just really like it. It's a nice touch. It's an 07. It still works, which is great. Mind you, I don't have a lot of mileage on this. It's 128,000 miles on it. I don't know, just over 200,000 kilometers, give or take, which is nothing for a Volvo. That means lasts forever. So,
I mean, even the dash is like super clean in this one. This is definitely a well-maintained one that you've bought here, and like the stitching is super subtle, super nice. If you notice, the interior on this is the blue leather. It's it's unique. That's
Nordcap.
super. What is it called?
Nordcap.
Nordcap blue.
Yeah.
It's subtle. You almost think it's black when you look in, but as you start to look at it, it starts popping out blue to you. So I actually really like it, and it's not in your face blue or obnoxious. It's very clean. But this center console on this car, it screams early 2000s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You get your CD player.
6 disc in dash CD player.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just so many buttons and dials and knobs that are here. Like I don't even remember the last time I could press this button to pull out for your bass, your treble, your balance, and your fader. You pull these buttons out to be able to change it and dial it in.
Yep.
That's old school.
Yep.
I like it. It's clean. You know, it's very simple to use. You hop in a new car and it's like all these buttons. You got to go through all these systems and stuff. The buttons are big. The buttons have function, and they tell you what you need to do, and that's it. So I think it's really clean, like all the way up to the gear shift. The gear shifter is super simple. You know, I haven't driven it in the manual auto mode, but it has that. It's got the S button here. I'm guessing that stands for sport.
Yeah, so essentially if you're in sport mode, the transmission stays in your same normal mode unless you want to select it yourself. In advanced mode, it's always on. You can't take it off. Like in advanced mode, basically your shift profiles are changed. The suspension's firmed up. Throttle response is
to what
firmed
you're
up.
used to driving in that mode.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Now, if you turn off the car, if you had it in sport mode, it'll stay in sport mode. If you had it in comfort mode, it'll stay in comfort mode. If you have it in advanced mode when you turn off the car, it'll go back into either comfort or sport, depending upon you know, what you use.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. This has been our review of
07 S60R.
That's right. So if you guys liked the video, make sure you liked the video. Make sure you comment. And we have some crazy good content coming up in the winter and leading into the spring. So make sure you subscribe to our channel for all our future content.
And don't forget to look at our Patreon link down below.
That's right. Check it out, guys. If you want to help support the channel, please do. Everything is very thankful for it. So on that note, I think we should go for one last ride.
Let's do it.
Well, my last ride, because I don't own the vehicle.
I get to ride it every day.
He gets to drive it all the day. So let's go, man.
Okay.